Hi there. All right, so this is going to be an interesting opportunity for us. I know that in a normal year, we would have about 150 or 200 of our young people here today, helping not just to decorate the crucifixion, but to learn about Holy Week, to learn about Pascha and Holy Friday, and to help prepare the church for Pascha. None of those things can happen inside the church today. We did have a couple, 3 people show up today to do just a few minimal decorations on the crucifixion, so when it is visible on the camera this afternoon and tonight, at least it is somehow decorated to honor the fact that it is the tomb of Christ. So let's go ahead and start with a prayer. I don't know how many of you are watching. I guess I can look on my phone, it'll tell me. So I'm going to turn my phone on, and it says there's 9 of you watching. And so I've got the chat room on, so if you have any questions, maybe we can do that. If I can be a little interactive, the best we can. But let's go ahead and start with our prayer. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Lord and Master of my life, take away from me the spirit of laziness, idle curiosity, lust for power, and vain talk. But grant me the spirit of moderation, humility, patience, and love. Yes, Lord and King, grant me to see my own faults and not to judge my brothers and sisters. For you are blessed forever and to the ages of ages. Amen. Okay. So, if you're going to send me a question in the comment section, it is about a 30-second delay between what I'm saying and doing inside the church and what you are seeing on YouTube. So let's just start a little bit, because this is going to be geared toward our young people. Adults, you can tune in and watch if you want, but this is really geared mainly to our young people. So let's focus here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I've got the camera control here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the cross. And so you see in the cross of Christ, you see at the very top above the candles, you'll see all the way up there, you'll see the sign that says, Jesus o Nazareos, Jesus of Nazareth, and then it says, O Vasilevs tis doxis. And this sign is what tells us that this is the King of Glory. In our tradition, we don't say the King of the Jews, we don't say the King of Israel, we say the King of Glory. Because God is not just the King of the Jews, but His kingship is of the entire universe, and it is a position of glory and honor. And you'll see here on His cross, He is here with dignity and with victory. The next thing I want to show you, of course, we have in our church, we have Panagia and St. John, and these 2 figures, of course, are directly from the Gospel. And it tells us that Christ looked down from the cross and He says to His mother, behold your son. And so here we have the Panagia and we have St. John, and Christ is saying, okay, look Panagia, look mom, you now have someone to take care of you. Because the Panagia had no other children. She was all alone in raising Christ, okay? Joseph by now has been dead for a long time. And so she was with nobody. So when Christ dies on the cross, she needed someone to take care of her, and Christ appointed St. John. And so this is this beautiful situation here. So these icons, a part of our tradition, are placed inside the church. What is unique this year, because of what is going on with this COVID situation, is this candili right here. Notice that in front of the cross, this candili is burning. And it is here because you cannot be here, right? So you're at home, but you can't come into the church and light your candle. You can't come into the church and venerate the cross like we normally would do. So instead, I have lit the oil candili, and it burns here 24 hours a day. And instead of you coming, now this candle is here on your behalf, representing you. And so I've placed it here in front of the cross as a prayer, because I know that you are praying to God, and you are praying in front of the cross. And if this had been one of our normal Holy Friday retreats, one of the things we would have done is you would have all come inside and you would have done a metania in Greek, or a prostration in front of the cross. And so we're going to do that together. So I want you to stand up in front of your icons at home, and we're going to do a prostration. So I wanted to remind you how we do that. We're going to go and we're going to touch the ground with our right hand like this. We're going to bend down. I have to move the camera so you can see this better. Okay? So you're going to bend down and touch the floor, and then you're going to do your cross. And you're going to do that 3 times, and then you're going to kiss your icons at home. That's just as if you were here in real life. You would be doing that right now in front of the cross. So let's do that together. I will do a prostration in front of the cross. You do it in front of your icons at home, okay? 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to kiss the icons that you have at home. If you have an icon of the crucifixion, that is even better. Kiss the feet of Jesus. You never kiss Jesus in the face. You always kiss him on his feet or his hands. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is, we all hear the word epitaphios. What is the word epitaphios? We have the procession of the epitaphios. We have the service of the epitaphios. The epitaphios is a special icon in the church. There are lots of icons in the church, but the epitaphios icon is a very special icon, is an icon of the burial of Jesus. It is an icon that represents Jesus in the tomb. So I'm going to get that icon and show you that icon now. Let's see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit on it. Okay. So here you have, this is the epitaphios. This is the icon called the epitaphios. Not the big wooden box behind me, covered in flowers. This is the epitaphios. And the epitaphios is an icon of Jesus. Looks like he's sleeping. You see here, it looks like he's sleeping, right? This is Jesus here, surrounded by his angels here. And this is Jesus asleep in the tomb. Now, at 3 o'clock this afternoon, we're going to take this icon of Jesus and we're going to take it off of the cross, because we're going to remember that he died on the cross and that he was buried. This icon, the epitaphios icon, the icon of Jesus lying down in the tomb, is going to be placed in the wooden box. Now the wooden box, let me see if I can zoom in on it. Well, you can see it this way. This epitaphios icon goes inside the wooden box. And the wooden box, the word for this is kuvuklion. I know it's a big fancy word, kuvuklion. And kuvuklion is the fancy word for sepulcher or tomb. And so you see, I'm going to try and zoom in a little bit and see if you can see it a little bit better sitting in there. So you see, inside the kuvuklion, you see the icon of the epitaphios. You have this here, you see, is the icon of Jesus lying down in the tomb. And the reason that's important, everybody, is because when Christ was put in the tomb and everything was closed, he went somewhere special. Where he went on Holy Friday night after he was buried, and he was there on Holy Saturday, is he went to Hades. And Hades is where all of the people, when they died, all the people in the ancient world, thousands and millions of people who lived before Jesus, when they died, they went to a place called Hades. And Hades is where the devil had them captured. And so Jesus goes into Hades and he breaks them out of Hades. He destroys the gates and he rescues all of those people from Hades. We can say he rescues them, he takes them out of prison, out of jail, and destroys the power of the devil forever. That is what we are doing tonight at the 7 o'clock service, when we sing the engomia in Greek, the lamentations, and we have the service of the epitaphios. And the epitaphios is going to go around the church, and it's going to remind us of Jesus going to Hades and rescuing all of those people who were captured there by the devil. And the devil had been capturing them there ever since Adam and Eve. And so the first people that Jesus is going to take out of Hades is Adam and Eve, because they've been captured there for all of those centuries, ever since they were in the garden and they sinned. And so the icon of the epitaphios is put inside the tomb. And we're going to remember that Christ was in the tomb. He went in on Friday, and by Sunday morning he was gone. He was raised from the dead. So tomorrow morning, if you watch carefully, during the Divine Liturgy tomorrow, two things are going to happen which are really cool. First is we're going to get very excited, and we're going to say in English, "Arise, O God, and judge the earth." In Greek, "Anasta o Theos." We're going to be calling for Jesus to come back and take care of all of the people and rescue the people and take over as the new king. And because of that, tomorrow I am going to have liturgy on the crucifixion. So you're going to see me tomorrow take, during the great entrance, I normally take the chalice and the plate, right, the paten, and I normally bring it around the church, and I normally put it on the altar table. But instead, tomorrow, I'm going to bring it around the church, and I'm going to place it in the crucifixion, and I'm going to use that to celebrate the Divine Liturgy, to celebrate Holy Communion tomorrow, because that's going to remind us that Jesus went to Hades and rescued the people, that he was no longer dead in the tomb. In real life, they didn't know it yet, but now it's been over 2,000 years, we already know the whole story. And so we're already celebrating that he's not in the tomb, he's in Hades, bringing those people, Adam and Eve and the others, back to life. So it's a pretty important days. Today, I don't know if you made a little crucifixion, if you made a little decorative thing there to put your icon of Jesus in. If you did, at 3 o'clock this afternoon, I want you to put your icon in that little box. But even if you didn't, we're going to sing and we're going to celebrate together. So we're going to honor the crucifixion, the death, the burial, and then tomorrow night we're going to remember the wonderful and glorious resurrection. So that's just a few things I wanted to, normally you'd be in the church and you could normally ask me questions, but right now you can't, unfortunately. And so what I will do instead is I will try to show you, because I can change the camera here a little bit, and I want to show you a little bit more inside the church. If I can zoom in a little bit more. So you see in the crucifixion, if I can come back here a little bit, right? So here's the icon, and I'll put it here during the 3 o'clock service. It's just here to show you now. Now notice that the cross is not so far away from the tomb. And I was especially blessed this year in that I was able to go to Jerusalem, and I was able to see the actual place where Jesus was crucified, and I was able to see the actual tomb of God. And it's not very far away. In real life, if you remember the inside of our church, in real life, if the front doors of the church is where Jesus was crucified, in the altar was where he was buried. It wasn't very far away. And so we have it also close here to remind us that he was taken off the cross and he was buried, and it was all very close because those were ancient days. The cities were very small, but nonetheless, today it's all one big giant church. And inside the one big giant church, at one section is a beautiful little church over the place where he was crucified, over Golgotha, over the rock. And you can see a big crack in the stone. We heard in the gospel that when Christ died on the cross, the rock cracked. And you can see that crack today, and they have it behind glass. You can see the crack go all the way down. They don't know how far down the crack goes. So that is a real thing. It's not something we just read about in the Bible. And then you can see the stone where they placed Jesus, and then you see the tomb where he was buried. And I'm telling you, if you've never, and now I'm talking to the parents, you should plan for a trip to the Holy Lands as a family, to be able to see where Jesus was crucified, to see where he was buried and raised from the dead. It's an amazing, amazing experience. Okay, we really have no way of doing any kind of questions. Let me see if anybody posted any questions on the chat room, on the chat line over here. I don't see any. So at this point, since we can't do any questions, I know this is just a little bit, we just wanted to share a little bit with you. The final thing that I will tell you is, I know how much you want to be in church, especially our kids. There are so many memories about coming here and decorating the kuvuklion and coming and smelling the incense and kissing the cross. And tomorrow we're going to throw the bay leaves everywhere in the church. I know how much everyone wants to be here. But the world is very sick. And so we're staying home to keep everybody safe. It's necessary, it's important for everyone to remain safe. It's not going to last forever, and we will again be able to come back into the church and have a wonderful celebration together as a community. All right, everyone, God bless you. There's no way we could have any kind of questions anyway, because nobody's here. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it off now. Let me just make sure one last time to see if there's any questions. And I don't see any. So God bless you. Have a blessed day. Again, church starts at 3 o'clock, where we're going to take him off the cross and place the icon, the epitaphios icon, in the tomb. And then at 7 o'clock tonight, we're going to sing around the tomb and remember that he is in Hades, rescuing Adam and Eve and the others from the dead. God bless you. I wish you were here together. I miss you. I miss having you around, even though it was always kind of, you didn't always behave, but I still missed having you here today. God bless you. We love you. And once this is all over, we'll be together again, I promise.